Wait until the relationship is almost cultivated. Will complete the great event of reproduction. Not all chameleons love the woods. On the slopes of the eastern peak, a light rain energizes the canyon stream. A jewel chameleon, digging holes meticulously, bulging belly full of eggs. With the arrival of the rainy season, it desperately needs to dig a pit to lay its eggs. The only way to keep the eggs safe is to bury them deep in the ground. It's not a good sign to dig an ant nest. Its first attempt failed. It changed its place and continued to dig. Worked hard all day. Finally, 12 eggs were successfully laid. The next step is to cover it with soil. Carefully clear your footprints. You're done. This operation is exactly the same as that of sea turtles laying eggs. Chameleon. Let's turn our attention to some exotic birds. Madagascar is 1,000 kilometers long. Significant climate differences between the north and the south. The further south you go, the drier the climate. Some rivers in the south are less than 1 meter deep all year round. But it's also enough to feed the forest belt along the coast. A fairy-like bird lives here. It is the birthday bird, known as the little phoenix. Although the female bird looks a bit like a sparrow, but the male bird has a flexible and elegant tail feathers. The birthday bird couple are busy breeding. The first step is to build a love nest. It's a delicate technical job. They gather leaves, dead grass and spider silk to weave together. Just at the critical moment when the project is about to be completed, competitors come unexpectedly. This red birthday bird wants the dove to occupy the magpie's nest. The white longevity bird decided to drive it away. Two birds circling and fighting in the air. It is worthy of being the fairy among birds. Even the fight scenes are entertaining. After driving away the intruders, the couple continued to work. Who knows that greater danger is coming? A capuchin swallow perched on a nearby branch. It looked at the bird's nest and got a bad idea. Its hairstyle is too ostentatious, it doesn't look like a good bird. Sure enough, Xiao Dainao and his wife just left. It flew over and demolished the house frantically. Even if the owner finds out, there is nothing he can do about it. It's not trying to steal, but blatantly grabbing territory. As long as the Xiaodai bird's nest is destroyed, the couple can only be forced to leave. Thanks to the care of Mother Nature, the Xiaodai Nio couple finally found an ideal nesting place. Soon after, the baby bird hatched safely. The parents are busy all day. Find food for baby birds. At the same time, clean up the excrement of the baby bird, so as not to attract natural enemies. In fact, this beautiful bird, not exclusive to Madagascar, they are also widely distributed in central and southern my country. Compared with the beauty and elegance of the longevity bird, the Falkland parrot looks unscrupulous and zen. This is simply a portrayal of the contrast between Shi and Dong Shi. Even so, the Falkland parrot is still very nourishing. Mixing here, what they rely on is not their appearance, but their scheming. This female parrot is feeding a flock of Victorians. These Victorians likely had different fathers. This stems from the chaotic relationship between the sexes of female parrots. It stands on the branch every day. Attract the opposite sex. Soon there will be male parrots coming. The female parrot shows its head and actively flatters. As long as it is willing to mate with the male parrot, you can get the food donated by the other party. It is by this that it raises its offspring. After watching rare birds and exotic animals, this animal is rarely seen by humans. They are grandi weasels, one of the rarest small carnivores in the world. They wear black stripes, with a big tail like a squirrel. They like to come out at night and prey on insects. Originally tracked mysteriously, rare to see, and nowhere but Madagascar. Not all insects are left to be slaughtered. Bumblebees are fierce predators. In some lake wetlands live tree frogs. Because the climate is too humid, they don't even need to be in water to lay their eggs. Instead, they choose to lay their eggs on the underside of the leaves. This provides effective protection against predators in the water. Less than a week. Frog eggs have developed into tadpoles. Tiny life is growing at an astonishing rate. However, beware. Can't guard against hunters from the sky. Frog eggs are protected by a sticky jelly-like substance. But its jaws are very strong and powerful, can be pulled out by tearing off the protective film. It chews up its prey and brings it back to the hive, and then keep going back and forth. The bumblebee is greedy for dreams. Don't kill these little tadpoles. Never rest. In just 1 hour, it killed dozens of tadpoles. But these tadpoles are not all hopeless. Violent vibration of the protective film have made them aware of the danger. Even just hatched 5 days. They also have a strong escape instinct. Some of the tadpoles began to writhe violently. The jelly-like substance miraculously liquefies. Small tadpoles slowly flow to the bottom of the liquid film. One more push and you can break free and fall into the water. Although they are premature and not yet fully developed, risk factor increases in water. But it's better than being killed by the hornets. Finally, let's turn our attention to lowland forests. Here's a weird phenomenon of atavistic inheritance. Traveler banana is a strange plant. Despite millions of years of evolution in isolated environments, but it still retains the genetic characteristics of its mainland ancestors. Direct relatives of the traveler banana, Strelitzia orchids that grow in South Africa. This is also confirmed from the side. Madagascar was once closely linked to the African continent. Traveler banana is the national tree of Madagascar. Legend has it that when the traveler was thirsty, water can be obtained by piercing its petiole with a knife. Hence the name traveler's banana. Strelitzia reliant on birds for pollination. But the pollinators of the traveler banana are primates. This primate is found only in Madagascar. They're actually a type of lemur too, because its fingers are as long as thin bamboo. That's why it's called the eye. Pointing lemurs sucking nectar while it also spreads pollen. To them, nectar is just a snack. Fat mites in tree holes are the favorite. It taps the trunk with its slender third finger. Detect where the worm hides, and then hook it out with your finger. Take a bite, mouth full of oil. For hundreds of years, the indigenous people of Madagascar think eye lemurs have weird voices and ugly looks. Will bring bad luck to mankind. So impose the notoriety of night demons on them. This stupid superstition brought disaster to the eye lemurs. They are brutally hunted and are almost extinct in the wild. Now only 32 are left in the zoo. It won't be long before this weird pollinator may perish forever on Earth. Please don't look like an animal to define their good and evil, because that's ridiculous. Is also sad. Clear blue water. Rocky coast. A waterfall jumps out from the green trees and mountains. Big white clouds walk leisurely against the top of the mountain. Tens of millions of years created a variety of rare birds and animals. Strange insects. Colorful chameleon. Shaodai bird like a fairy. Not to mention the little hedgehog who can navigate. And the eye, known as the night devil. 80% of the species here are unique. They are all beautiful elves of Madagascar. Hello everyone, I am Mada. In this episode, let's go to Madagascar together. Admire the rare birds and animals here. A ridge running north-south. Divide Madagascar in two distinct climatic zones. The warm and humid air from the Indian Ocean blowing from the east is blocked by the mountains. The abundant water vapor is collected by the mountains to the east. Annual rainfall exceeds 5 meters. Formed a typical tropical rainforest climate. On the west side of the mountains, there is little rainfall. 9-month dry season with little to no rain. The baobab tree has a thick stem, just to store water to survive the dry season. First, let's step into the rainforest. A small animal appeared on the ground. You might mistake it for a hedgehog, but it's actually a distant relative of the mainland hedgehog. Falkland hedgehog. They like to eat insects. Prefer to have babies. The average litter is about 15, up to 32 litters per litter, in all mammals. They top the list of the number of babies born. This mom is out foraging, followed by a bunch of babies. Let's go out with the whole family. Majestic, quite magnificent. Like the lemur, the ancestor of the anal hedgehog, also drifted from the African continent. They have differentiated into several species. The striped hedgehog is also one of them. They have tiny, pin-sharp teeth, especially good for chewing on fat and juicy worms. They also come out as a family, hunting for food in groups. Once the child loses contact with the mother, it's very dangerous to be left alone in the jungle. That's when the natural talent comes in handy. There is a bunch of white thorns growing on the mother's back. Can make a high-pitched sound when rubbed against each other, like a navigation signal. It can guide the children who run wildly back to their side. They are the only way. Mammals that communicate. In addition to the difference between mammals and continents, the insects here are also strange. One of the most bizarre is the long-necked weevil. They have bright red carapaces. The slender neck is oily black and shiny. Looks like a mechanical boom. Maybe it's more in line with mechanics. After all, during the breeding season, males fight. This fight has to be won. Females have shorter necks. While waiting for the end of the battle, there is still a major project to do. It bites the leaves along the veins, make little creases on top, similar to the principle of our origami airplane. On the other side, the two males are in a stalemate. The female is the referee and has the final choice. Apparently, it will only mate with the winner. Before the loser leaves, the Tatars can't wait. With strong foot strength, the female folds the leaves in half, then roll up the leaf tail. Lay an egg in it, by the way. With its tireless efforts, nursery room is gradually taking shape. Every weevil is a master builder. They all have different design philosophies. The houses built are of different shapes and will never be the same. It bites little notches at critical hit points, snaps like a Velcro strap. Such a house is durable and won't fall apart easily. Then fold it a few more times, and the house is perfectly completed. The last step is to cut the house and drop it into the dead leaves. All efforts are for this egg. As for whether it can be hatched safely, leave everything to time. In addition to various insects, chameleons are also permanent residents of Madagascar. Walking along the quiet stream of flying, come to the crater lake in the north of the island. In the dense forest around this small lake, Madagascar's unique leopard chameleon lives. They have fully adapted to arboreal life. The toes are fused together and separated on both sides. Holds branches like pincers. Their sides are flat. Large and small pigment cells. They have spring tongues in their mouths. High-speed ejection can be completed in milliseconds. Prey have little chance of escaping. Same-sex dislike. Once two males share a tree, battle is inevitable. When angry, they hiss like a cat. The battle was quite fierce. Both sides come and go, not giving in to each other. In the end, the master of the territory won. The intruders are gradually losing the wind. Fled the scene by airborne. In this isolated rainforest, chameleons take a diverse evolutionary path. There are 59 endemic species. The pygmy chameleon is one example. They are the smallest reptiles in the world, about the size of an ant. One dead leaf is enough for it to stroll for half a day. A male in this mushroom forest is looking for a mate. It moves too slowly. A red one gallops by. Fortunately, little boy was lucky and was not crushed. Otherwise, it is very likely to die. There is a female not far away. Males noticeably quicken their pace. The male catches up to it and holds on to its tail. In this way, it climbed onto the back of the female step by step. It is much smaller in size than the female.